Hey there, my wonderful treasures. Today, we are going to be talking about the new Dungeons and Dragons set, the Adventures in the Forgotten Realm, Adventures of the Forgotten Realm. Um, they're for Magic the Gathering, for the record, for anybody who's just tuning in, right? Um, I'm gonna put in my 2 cents, mainly because there seems to be a lot of controversy with this set. Um, I don't think I've heard too many people say that the set is going to be amazing. And for the record, I've played with a bit of it on Arena already, so I have an idea of how it plays. Um, from what I've been reading, it seems like a lot of people have been getting really upset about the fact that you have to roll dice now. And not to mention that this technically takes place of a core set, so there's either not going to be a core 2022, or it's going to be this and then the Innistrad stuff and then core 2022. Who is to say? I don't know, but what I do know is from what I'm hearing is I've seen a lot of stuff on my recommended feed about Dungeons and Dragons, and it's set in Magic the Gathering. The first crossover to have an actual like set. Um, from a player standpoint, I like the freshness of it. Right, anytime there's a new thing implemented into the game or anything that I haven't done, right? Um, anytime something has been implemented that is new and exciting and adds to a different level of skill and chance to the game, right? I think it's great, right? There are people who play Pokemon, and Pokemon, most of Pokemon is you flip a coin. Coin flipping is like one of the big things to do in Pokemon. You know, granted, it's a 50-50 chance instead of a 1 in 20 chance, but it's still there. Um, I like the new section of it. Right, the cards all seem very fun. There's a lot of really good additions to a lot of decks that I personally build, like um Orzhov, right? Cleric decks are getting boosted, right? I love seeing that. Um, I have never seen more Boros decks in my life on Arena than I have right now in the standard 2022, which is great because Boros is my favorite colors. Then we also have rogues with rogue class and Xanathar. Like, they're really good, right? And a lot of these cards, like the Book of Exalted Deeds, that's the white card that everybody's talking about, the you can't lose a game, right? You have the Goldspan Dragons, which are from Kaldheim, with the uh you even mix the Goldspan Dragons with Imarith. The new blue dragon, Is It Dragons, is huge right now on Arena. I see a lot of new things, right? And obviously it's because the standard has changed. You don't have Ugin anymore, which is mwah, great. So no more Ugin is always fantastic. Scoot Swarm, if people are going to want to play Scoot Swarm, they're going to have to figure out how to make that happen because they don't have mutate cards anymore, so on and so forth. So as a player standpoint, I like the change, right? I always love rotations because it literally shifts the meta. Um so yeah, as a player, I think it's great, right? I think it's a fun thing. Um as a content creator, I also think it's very good because one, there's more stuff, right, for us to open, more stuff to play around with, more deck techs, more stuff for historic that you can play in, more stuff for commander and for all these things, like, you know, stuff to look at and speculate on what's going to be uh high in demand due to its use with some obscure deck that no one thought would ever have support for it, and now it does. Um, Fantastic. I love seeing it. I love seeing new content As a content creator, that's what I like to see. And thirdly, as a collector, um, I think the set is probably one of the better sets to start collecting. And once again, everything here is my opinion, right? Don't don't take this to heart. I'm not like a financial advisor. Um, it's all for entertainment. But if there's one thing I notice about sets in card games, more specifically with Magic, I see it that a lot of people tend to overlook is that when you see a bunch of videos that people are saying that it's a skip, right? You should skip this set. You shouldn't bother buying anything from this set, or don't bother buying a box. Like if you really need anything, just buy the singles. Like yeah, right, you can buy the singles. And if nobody's going to be buying the product, then the product is probably going to be pretty low price, right? Right? Except it's not. I mean, I imagine the pre-releases already for these things, the pre-orders are already pretty high up there. Um, they're obviously not, Modern Horizons 2, but they're up there. And when they're up there, it's kind of it's a different, how do I say this? It's just kind of like, it's all speculation right now. Everything's speculation. The set's not out. Nobody's won a tournament in Standard yet. The rotation isn't over. So everybody who's on Arena right now is just playing around with things on Arena. And then anybody who's playing around with things in real life, they don't have the cards yet. So, you can't use these cards in Commander yet because the cards aren't out in there and people want to use them in Commander and see how they work. It's all speculation, but if there's one thing that I see is that when a set does something new and innovative and something that's completely different with the sets previous, right? This is the first set to come out that is not a core set. That's a big change, right? That's one. It implements rolling dice as a pretty big mechanic and also venturing into dungeons, which is also a pretty big mechanic. Considering now you need to carry a d20 on you if you didn't already, and also carry counters and carry these tokens with the dungeons on them so that you can know where you're at. Honestly, at this point, I'd just buy a set of D&D dice for, the $9 they are, or $7, or however much, and keep that with you too. Because some of them use D12s, right? You should have a whole bunch of D6s. A D20 is practically necessary for these rolls now. So that is it's a big change, right? It's a big change in regards to the game. And when you see a big change like that, people are going to look back 30 years from now, 20 years from now, let's say Magic even lasts that long, right? They're going to go, "Oh man, like this was really cool. I really liked this. But the set's out of print, been out of print for a while. Like, how do I go about getting these cards?" And the only thing is like if it's printed to oblivion, then the cards should still be available as long as people are selling them. But the boxes themselves, if you keep the sealed product's probably going to go pretty high. It's a speculation on my part, right? And I'm by no means going to buy cases upon cases upon cases of this set. One, because I'm poor, and two, because I'm poor. But what I do know is that for the amount of people who are passing on the product and just not doing it, I'm not sure if it's some kind of movement, if there's a reason for it other than people just don't like the cards inside it, if it's like a way to kind of like, punch Hasbro in the face or punch the Wizards in the face and be like, hey, we're not going to spend any more of your money, or we're not going to spend any more of our money on you, right? We're going to go move to a different game with blackjack, hookers. But regardless, I think it's going to be a great set. And if I'm going to be the only person on record for saying that, then let it be, right? We'll see how that works out in 5 to 10 years and whether or not I'm correct in saying such a thing. Obviously, there will be more innovative things that Wizards will do because they obviously haven't run out of ideas. We're going to have a lot more crossover sets with the different series, like with Warhammer and all that stuff. So, and I think Lord of the Rings was the other one they were doing, if I recall correctly. I can't quite remember, but that entirely is just a PSA I wanted to get out to people. As a player, I like the set because one, it helps my decks in Standard, and I may only be one of the 20 people who play Standard currently. But I think they're great. And I think they're great for Commander, too. I think they're great for Historic. I think they're great for Modern. Nobody's had a chance to use them yet, right? And so with all this downplay on being like, oh man, like the decks are, the cards suck. All the cards suck because you have to roll dice, and now it's about chance and this, that, and the other. Like, you have a chance of drawing a bad hand, and then mulliganing, and then drawing again, and then having a mulligan again. It's a chance. Like you play chances. When you draw that card, there's a chance that it could be a land after you already have 12 lands on the board and no creatures in hand. And you're at 5 life, right? It's all chance. And I like that it's implementing certain things from D&D and really holding true to having its first crossover set, which is just another thing that's going to make me think that it's a big thing, right? You know, I think Shards of Alara was the first set to come out with Mythics, I think. Maybe I'm wrong. Don't quote me on that. But and that was like, that's huge, right? That's huge stuff. Like the first set to come out with a Mythic. I mean, a whole new rarity, right? The first set to come out with Planeswalkers. Probably the biggest thing, right? The opportunity, change is always going to happen no matter what we do. No matter what we do, you know, we could stop buying Magic products today and there would still be a change in format, and they do something, right? But change is inevitable, and it will happen. And you know, there are a lot of like boomer Magic players essentially who are mad about the Standard because it's not the same as it was, and you get a lot of people who are upset, and when they're upset they think Magic is dying and that Magic is over, and you can't make a, you can't even do anything with the sets anymore, and nothing matters. It's all just cardboard that they're making you buy. Obviously not. Like, obviously not. So that's my speculation. I guess that's my speculation. That's my wholehearted opinion on the thing. It's a new set with new implemented abilities that focus on things outside of the game, like dice and dungeons, right? And they have plenty of dragons, and which all can be used in a fantastic 5-color commander deck. For the record, a 5-color dragon commander deck, like Sign of the Ur Dragon, has never seen more support than in just this set right now. So yeah, it's crazy, right? And the opportunities are always there. And that's my speculation, is that it's going to be a good set. And I think all the people who are saying it's going to be a bad set, you know, I don't, everybody's got their own opinion, right? Am I gonna, like I said, am I gonna buy a whole bunch of boxes right now? I can't. I don't have the money for that. But will I continue to play the standard and continue to speculate on cards and buy them at their prices, at their low, low prices? Because if a majority of Magic players are not buying these cards and nobody's opening boxes, the price will tank, as it usually does about a couple weeks after launch. And when it goes down, it'll go down pretty hard, and everybody's going to think it's an awful set because their stuff isn't selling, and they'll never buy another box to open again. There'll be tons of boxes left over that they'll continue to just to send to Amazon anyway. And then people will eventually buy them, and they'll be able to raise the prices on Amazon, and so on and so forth. But the people who get in early on a speculation and keep sealed product, hell, if you open it, sure, right? Singles, I'm sure, will sell pretty well eventually when people start using them in Modern, in Historic, and Commander, and Brawl. So, in Standard, even. Like, when we start seeing things top tournaments, is when we'll know what happens. So, I don't know. It's all up in the air, but I just find it. I find I had to say something in regards to this as someone who's obviously not an expert on Magic. Um, when you see big change like this as a collector, that's an opportunity for you to take, especially when everybody else is running away from the product. Take a chance, right? Take a chance. Worst case scenario, right? You buy a set booster box for $110 and it sells eventually in 5 years for $130. You know, it's not going to go down. It's not going to dip so low to the point where you're going to spend $50 on a box. And these boxes aren't going to go below $100. If they do, it's because there's just so many of them. But yeah, so that's my 2 cents. That's pretty much it for that. I don't know. Don't call me a shill, but buy Dungeons and Dragons: Adventures of the Forgotten Realm, or I say do it. Buy Adventures of the Forgotten Realms Magic the Gathering set, because if you don't, somebody else is gonna. Somebody else is gonna capitalize on that, and if they capitalize on that, you're gonna miss out. Nobody wants FOMO, right? I think the set's gonna be great, but don't just willingly take my advice. Do your own research, right? Get your stuff sorted, make it happen, and then we'll all see how we're standing 3 months after launch, which is in a couple weeks. So, yeah, that's it's about like a week and a half. So, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, until then, thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate your support. Hopefully this content helped you make a decision, right? Hope to give you some clarity on such a thing. And tell me in the comments what you think. Tell me if you like the set so much to the point where you would buy cases upon cases of collector booster boxes. Or if you don't like the set, and tell me why, right? Tell me why you don't like it and why it should be avoided at all costs. So, anyway, thank you so much. Make sure to drink your water, eat your vegetables, and don't be a dick. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. All right. Heard out.